Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here, and this is Unpopular Wrestling Opinion, episode 24. Today's subject is The Undertaker and his legacy, that he has damaged beyond repair. And, there's really no turning back from what he has done to his own legacy in, I would say, almost the past 10 years. Because his last great match was WrestleMania 26. Now, I'm going to go over other aspects of Undertaker's career and everything and hit the highlights and the lowlights. And I'm not going to hit every single thing because we would be here all day. I would probably need to do a 90-minute video to even sort of try to cover even the minutest amount of Undertaker's career, because he's been doing this since well before he became The Undertaker in 1990. He started wrestling in 1984. So he's been doing this, even though it's been off and on for about the last 10 years. He's been wrestling since, I was 3 years old. I'm 38 right now. But after that match with Goldberg at Super Showdown, which was one of the biggest atrocities, one of the saddest matches I've seen. It was literally like watching two old guys fight in a parking lot, and there's like this video of these two old guys fighting in a parking lot, I think, in Russia or something like that. That was better than this. Now, at first, the match was fine, couple spears and whatever, and then everything fell off the rails. You had Goldberg run his head into the post on accident or hit something, whatever he did. Well, he busted his head open, doing the stupid, headbutt into the door. You shouldn't be doing that, Bill. You're 52 fucking years old, you idiot. And I love Bill Goldberg to an extent. I respect the fact that he still wants to get in the ring and do that and show his son what his dad can do. But, my God, he couldn't do anything. And I'll actually talk about other old guys, guys that are well past their prime and others that actually are, doing just fine even at an advanced age for athletics on another video. But just watching that and watching Undertaker, yeah, he got dropped on his head. Yeah, he botched with Goldberg as well. It just was really sad and represents the point where everything has come crashing down. It actually goes back to I want to say it's a 2002 or 2003 interview that Undertaker did. And I don't remember if it was for WWE or if it was for some other media. But he said, as long as I can, and I don't remember the exact quote, but as long as he can go out there and still wrestle and entertain and keep up with people that, are younger than him, he will keep doing it. Otherwise, when it's time for him to retire, he doesn't want to be that guy being out there, slumming it, unable to do anything, unable to keep up and being a shell of what he is and making his fans sad. Well, guess what, Undertaker? You made the fans really fucking sad for a number of years. Again, I fucking love The Undertaker. He's absolutely great. He's incredible. The injuries he's fought through, the feuds that he got out of some people that had no fucking business being in the ring. Oh, hello, Great Khali, in your Hank Hill dad-inspired legs. Didn't fucking see you there. But that, Muhammad Hassan, wasn't all that great. A whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to get into here in a bit, but I'm just giving an overlay. This really pissed me off. It made me sad and it pissed me off because it was unnecessary. Undertaker should have said no to Vince. Yes, it's stupid money. Probably at least $1 million. I would say $1 million to $1.5 million that him and Goldberg got each. Now, I don't know. I don't care because it's not my career. It's not my life. I'm not a wrestler. I'm just a fan. I don't want to see these guys die in the fucking ring. And we nearly saw them die in the fucking ring. It was just an atrocity. And I'll put my Super Showdown review up here at some point. In case I haven't plugged it already, I will put that link up there and you guys can check that out if you would like. And hear me get angry for 35 fucking minutes. Apparently some people liked it, some people didn't, but whatever. So let's hit the highlights and the lowlights of Undertaker's career. And again, I'm going to skip over the major details of some of this stuff because it's trying to encapsulate a 35-year career in about a 37-minute video. And even as a fan, even with as much as I've studied and I've watched and observed, I can only do so much. So here we go. Like I said, he debuted in 1984, wrestled around on the Independent and stuff like that. He did wrestle, I believe he wrestled in World Class for a little bit. I know for sure he wrestled in the NWA, WCW days. He was Mean Mark Callis. He was even managed by Paul Heyman, which kind of formed the bond that would later factor into the breaking of the streak and everything. He became the Undertaker Survivor Series 1990, joining $1 Million Man's team. He was managed originally by Brother Love, then they brought in Paul Bearer. Thank fucking Christ, Brother Love would have brought his career down because Brother Love's a goddamn idiot. Both the character and the man playing him, Bruce Pritchard, is a fucking moron. And I'll stand by that. He may know something about wrestling, but he's still a douchebag yes man of Vince McMahon. He feuded with what? Jimmy Snuka. He beat him in Mania 7, and he feuded with Ultimate Warrior for a little bit in body bag matches. That was a great idea. Of course, Ultimate Warrior and a body bag weren't far off. Well, about 23 years off from that. Yeah, it's a mean joke, but fuck Ultimate Warrior. I'm glad he's dead. I don't care about the guy one bit. I don't care how much hate that gets me. The guy was a piece of shit, and karma got him for being a hateful monster. But then we get to when he feuded with Jake Snake Roberts, and he feuded with a bunch of monsters. Kamala. He's possibly going to feud with Nails. That didn't end up working out. But then he feuded with the Giant Gonzalez, Mania 9. That was fucking terrible. Undertaker was a well-established character right from the beginning. Even though he was having to carry some guys that had no business being with him in the ring. Even Kamala at that point, Kamala still had something left. Even though his best days weren't world class, he still had something left at that point. But then he feuded with Giant Gonzalez, which was terrible and would be repeated again 23 years later with the Great Khali. And then, you had that SummerSlam 93 match. He would limp around from feud to feud. And even though he would have some decent matches on Raw, he was still kind of trying to find his footing. Even in 91, if you go back a little bit, he actually won the title from Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 91. The first ever title match, I believe, at Survivor Series. And Undertaker won, and then lost it a little bit later Tuesday in Texas. That's a great way to use your fucking monster. Great job. No wonder Vince's business suffered so much, because he kept using Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's somebody that shouldn't have been in the ring as long as he was. Fucking Christ, remember his TNA run? You shouldn't. It was rubbish. It was not a good moment for the company. It just wasn't. And in fact, actually, something that I'm going to be doing at some point is talking about 10 wrestling matches that shouldn't have happened. Like, with old guys or something like that. 10 past their prime matches or whatever. I'm working on the title. But going with Undertaker, going back 93. Okay, he beats Giant Gonzalez at, SummerSlam 93. He enters a feud with Yokozuna. They do the back injury thing where he, the casket match where he gets beat up by about 18,000 people. I mean, I even think fans started running in the ring and beating up Undertaker. There was a whole bunch of heels helping out Yokozuna. Jeff Jarrett, Adam Bomb. Was it Adam Bomb? Crush. A whole bunch of people jumped in there and did that. And then Undertaker did the whole spoopy thing where he says, "I will not rest in peace," and then he rises up. This was done because he had a legit back injury and needed to take some time off. And then they came back with fake Taker versus fake Taker, or the fake Taker versus real Taker thing. It was actually Brian Lee as a fake Taker. And yeah, that wasn't much of anything. And then he feuded with King Kong Bundy. That went nowhere. He kept feuding with the $1 Million Man Corporation, or the $1 Million Corporation, all the way through 95. He feuded, like I said, feuded with King Kong Bundy. He feuded with Kama a little bit, who would later become the Godfather. He did have a match with, I believe, Mabel. And it was like a clothesline or something like that. But Mabel, after injuring Diesel, injuring one of the Samoans, Vince was ready to give him his walking papers. Okay, whatever. No, Diesel even backed him up and says, no, don't do that. But then he injured Taker. Broke his orbital bone. That's why, he had the Phantom of the Opera inspired mask on there. And kept working through. He worked through a lot of goddamn injuries. Mark Calloway, the man, has my respect for that. He has respect of many for that because he has worked through so many injuries. That probably would have kept a normal person down, but he was dedicated to Vince. He was loyal to Vince. To a fault, as the match with Goldberg, he showed evidence of. But he had that Phantom of the Opera thing, and then he had a match with Bret Hart. That went nowhere. I mean, even though it was a good match, it just led into the feud with Diesel, Mania 12. And then you started the Mankind feud right after Mania 12. At the King of the Ring match, Boiler Room Brawl, Paul Bearer turns on Undertaker. Undertaker started to show some more human qualities and stuff like that. So things were building up with Undertaker. You then get, the Survivor Series 96 match where he beats Mankind and everything. Which was a good match. Survivor Series 96, actually one of the most underappreciated pay-per-views of the 90s, in my opinion, and definitely one of the best Survivor Series of all time. Survivor Series events. That made Taker, that helped make Taker because it showed that Mankind, even though he didn't look like he should be able to put a dent in Undertaker, even though physically he was impressive, as far as just the impact he would hit, his opponents with using his own body as a weapon and everything. After that, they kind of cooled off on the Mankind feud. Undertaker entered a program where he was in the title picture and then would eventually end up beating Sid at Mania 13 after the whole Shawn Bret thing got thrown out. And then, Bret and Austin had that great, match, that iconic match where Austin became a babyface, Bret became a heel. Undertaker beats Sid, and Sid may or may not have shit his tights on the show. Who the fuck knows? Then he has another match with Mankind. I believe it the next... wasn't a Cold Day in Hell. It was the In Your House in April, 97. And I don't... some of those blend together for me. But that was the one where he did the whole flash paper thing, setting Paul Bearer's face on fire. And that kind of led to another feud that was going to happen a little bit later. But... he enters his feud. He has good matches with Austin at, I believe, Cold Day in Hell, In Your House, at King of the Ring, at the King of the Ring 97, I want to say, or it was the In Your House International Incident. It was one of the two that he faced Farouk. And then he had that match with Bret Hart at SummerSlam 97, transitioned right to a feud with Shawn Michaels. That was a highlight of Undertaker's career in the 90s. In Your House Ground Zero, and then the first ever Hell in a Cell match. And throughout all this, Paul Bearer had been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, your brother Kane, he's alive, he's alive. And they really built that fucking thing like crazy. So Undertaker has Shawn beat. I mean, fucking cracks him in the goddamn head with a chair. Has him beat. Kane runs down, he ripped the door off his hinges. All that beef. Sorry. Ow. That Vince impression kills me. And then he enters the feud with Kane. Even though Undertaker says for months and months he will not fight his brother. He will not fight his brother. Faces up against Shawn Michaels, and kind of the blow off of that feud at in a casket match. Kane helps, Undertaker. Kane doesn't help Undertaker. Helps Shawn win. Throws Undertaker in the casket. Sets the casket on fire and everything. And then Taker shows up and everything, does all this stuff. He faces off against Kane at Mania 14 in the best match that they had, easily. I mean, the other matches they had in 98, I guess, were okay. And maybe they had a couple better ones in 2000. I say their 2010 feud, I'll get into it in a little bit, was a little bit eh. But from there, the 98 stuff was a little bit rough after the feud with Kane, though. He did have the Hell in a Cell match with Mankind. He even shattered his ankle that people thought he was going to have to retire. Nope, he kept fighting through it. I mean, I'm sure he got medical stuff done, but he kept fighting through it. He even was in the title picture a little bit in 98. And then the Ministry. The Ministry was a low point in Undertaker's career. It really fucking was. Now, he dedicated himself to it. Had the Acolytes, Mitty, and the Brood. Then became the Corporate Ministry. That was fucking bullshit. Undertaker really was lost in the goddamn shuffle because he played like third fiddle to Shane and Vince. And, he feuded with Big Show. He was champion at one point. He won it Over the Edge 99 and then lost it like a month later. Just over a month later. And then faced off against Austin in a first blood match. And then he had a feud with Big Show, then teamed up with the Big Show. But then they were still feuding, but then they weren't. Then they were tag team champions, and they weren't. It was like a feud with X-Pac and Kane. Undertaker ended up leaving, I believe, just before Unforgiven 99. It was an angle that was shot, but it was due to a pec injury, and I believe he had a personal spat with Vince. He didn't return for a number of months. I believe he had another injury that kept him out of Mania 2000 because he was actually supposed to make his return. That was the first Mania. He only missed Mania 10 and Mania 16 until Mania 35. Seriously. He's only missed 3 Manias. From Mania 7 to Mania 35. 10, 16, 35. That's pretty fucking impressive. That's a really fucking impressive run. But then he comes back as Biker Taker, shows up in the Iron Man match, ends up attacking Triple H, ends up getting, Rock DQ'd. And then he becomes embroiled in a feud with Kane sometime after that, removes his mask, that kind of goes nowhere. And then he's an uneasy alliance with Kane soon after that, and feuds with Rikishi and Haku. Actually throws Rikishi off the Hell in a Cell match at Armageddon 2000. He had he did have that one fully loaded match. I believe it was against Kurt Angle, where he just fucking buries him. I mean, just buries him like in 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. But then it was like Survivor Series. He ends up losing Angle. The Survivor Series of the same year. So Undertaker's on a weird path, and then he's teaming with Kane against teams like the Dudleys or Haku and Rikishi. That team didn't last very long. Faces Triple H at Mania 17. And then, it was going along pretty well and everything. Has the alliance thing, feuds with DDP. That went nowhere. That was a low point of Undertaker's career because Undertaker really showed a lot of unprofessionalism, in my personal opinion. I know DDP can be a bit headstrong and stuff like that, but Undertaker really showed a lot of bullshit right there with that. So, yeah, we get to near the end of 2001. He turns heel, has JR join Vince's Kiss My Ass Club. That was a little bit odd, especially considering Undertaker fought for Team WWF just before that at Survivor Series 2001. And then he becomes hardcore champion for a bit, beating RVD in a pretty underrated match at, let's see. What the fuck was it? Vengeance 2001. Vengeance was in December for some reason, which I never quite understood. Because Vengeance was always like a June or July pay-per-view. I gotta look at the Vengeance. I gotta look at the Vengeance cards sometimes and maybe rank them at some point just for a fun video in like July or August. But the whole point is he's a heel. The thing with Maven, the Royal Rumble 2002, that was pretty cool. Aaron's feud with Ric Flair. One of my favorite Undertaker matches of all time. I mean, that match with Ric Flair was fucking terrific. He beat up Arn Anderson. He beat up David Flair, which, to be fair, it was easy to beat up David Flair at that point, or even probably now. He never wanted to be in wrestling, and he wasn't cut out for it. It's nothing against the guy himself. He just was never cut out for it. The feud with Ric Flair was tremendous, and then he had that limp feud with Hogan. One of the worst choke slams ever. The one with Goldberg replaced it, though. Like, if you've seen the end of that Judgment Day 2002 match, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It was bad. He's undisputed champion, has a great match with Jeff Hardy at Raw July 1st, 2002, I believe. First or second or something like that. But then he suddenly turns babyface after only being heel for about 7 months. About 7 months. He then loses the undisputed title when Rock pins Angle in a great triple threat match at 2002 Vengeance. Faces Test at SummerSlam 2002. Enters the feud with Brock Lesnar after that. Hell in a Cell match was absolutely great. You know, the match that they had, I believe, at Unforgiven 2002 wasn't all that great. But then they had that great Hell in a Cell match where Taker bladed way too fucking deep, was gushing blood like crazy. And put over Brock. He put over Brock fucking strong there, I will say that much. Then Big Show injures him. He's out until the Rumble for a couple months and stuff like that. Feuds with Big Show and then beats up Big Show and A-Train at WrestleMania 19. Beating up two big monsters. Gee, I wonder why people couldn't take Big Show and A-Train seriously. There are times when Undertaker's ego got out of control. He did have a nice feud with Cena. The problem is Taker should have put Cena over at Vengeance 2003, and he didn't. And I didn't understand it. He also had a feud with the FBI a little bit earlier, the full-blood Italians in WWE. That was a great idea. Faced A-Train. He faced Vince. He faced Vince, the Buried Alive match and everything at Survivor Series 03. He also faced Brock in a, biker chain match at No Mercy 03. They put Taker in a lot of, unenviable positions in situations and stuff. He's then out for a number of months after he gets buried alive. He keeps alluding to his return and everything. Dead man. Faces Kane at Mania 20. Great entrance, everything. And then the match. And it was obvious by this point that it was going to take a while for Taker to get back into in-ring shape and back into everything. And back to being the dead man that we all know and love. So, of course, they haven't feuded with Booker T for no goddamn reason after that. That wasn't good. That was a great way to use Booker T. Who was a babyface before that, but then they did the draft, when the draft meant something, as opposed to this whole new wild card rule thing, which is still going on now for some reason. He then feuds with Heyman, who has the Dudley Boys beat him up, and he has Paul Bearer's urn, Heyman does, and then the Concrete Crypt match thing. That was one of the worst matches that Undertaker was involved in. He faced off against the Dudley Boys, and it was Paul Bearer, being buried in concrete or cement from a mixer every time he did not do the right thing. When all Taker had to do was go over there, punch out Heyman, punch out the glass, and free Bearer. But he didn't do that. He beats the Dudleys and buries Paul Bearer in there, and Paul Bearer is dead until about 2010. They don't know how to kill people off properly on TV. I know he needed it because he needed some kind of stomach staple surgery or something like that, but it was just dumb. But yeah, he feuds with that. Then he feuds with JBL. That feud went nowhere. They transitioned into the Heidenreich feud, and I'm sure Heidenreich's a nice guy. But this was another example where just about 11 years before, let's have him feud with monster guys to put people over and do well. And they never put him in with monsters that were good. The best monster he faced was Kamala, in that run from 92 to like 96. I mean, maybe besides Diesel. That was it. Like, sorry, there were a couple others that were mixed in there that were fine, but Mabel wasn't any good and all those. But anyway, I am getting a little bit loud, by the way, because I'm getting a little bit pissed off looking at some of these fond memories, and fond for good and bad. Because you can have fond memories of somebody and think, well, this was a whole lot better than I remembered. He then feuds, like I said, feuds with Heidenreich. That was a terrible feud. Nothing good came out of that. He then started feuding with Randy Orton. In a pretty goddamn good feud. Mania 21, that's when the streak meant something. It was 11-0. Orton actually had the opportunity to end the streak and did not do it out of respect to Taker. Which is weird at that time because you wouldn't have thought Orton would have respected anybody because he likes shitting in women's bags. Allegedly, even though it was actually true. At least apparently. And he was also racist. Man, maybe still is. But Orton's racism aside, they did that match Mania 21. That was great stuff. You then had the feud with Muhammad Hassan, and look, I got nothing against the guy playing Muhammad Hassan, but he was also Italian. He played an Arab man, an Arab American, who was bringing up reasonable points, not wanting to be demonized for how he looks and all this stuff and everything. And then they do the piano wire thing, where masked guys attack Taker, choke him out, carry him out like a martyr, right when the London fucking bombings happened. Now, granted, WWE did not have a clue that this was going to happen. Even if the London bombings didn't fucking happen, this was atrocious. They had something with Muhammad Hassan. Oh, let's just make him the evil terrorist character, because that fucking worked with Sergeant Slaughter, except it didn't. It got death threats. It got a whole bunch of the wrong kind of heat. And now we're just doing the same thing with Muhammad Hassan. It didn't work. It fucking ruined him. UPN didn't want him on TV anymore. Apparently, Spike didn't want him on TV. They should have just moved him to fucking Raw, is what they should have done. But maybe Spike TV at the time, or TNN, because they were No, wait. They didn't jump to No, wait, that was 2005. Yeah, they were still on TNN, actually. They didn't jump back to USA until October 05, and this was in July of 05. Undertaker just friggin' brutalizes Hassan. Hassan was actually supposed to beat Batista at SummerSlam 05. Now, I don't know if that would have worked, but ultimately, they had Undertaker effectively bury him. And then, 05, whatever, he does some normal stuff. Still feuds with Orton and everything. No Mercy 05. The match with Bob Orton Jr. and Randy Orton, where Bob Orton Jr. bled. He had hepatitis, some form of hepatitis, and Undertaker was hot about it, and I don't fucking blame him. I would have been too. Hell in a Cell match, we do that. That's it. Takes off some time. Feuds with Kurt Angle at No Way Out 06. Faces off against Mark Henry at Mania 22. One of the worst matches that they had on that card. And it was pretty shit. And Mark at that point just wasn't mobile enough. He wasn't. He was too often injured. And then Undertaker enters a feud with Khali. Look, the Giant Gonzalez feud didn't fucking work. And Undertaker was a young pup. Now, he's had injuries, but he's fought through them and stuff like that. But yeah, let's put him in with a guy that's somehow less athletically inclined than Giant Gonzalez was. And it sounds like I'm defending Taker, and to an extent I am. But I'm going over his legacy to get to a point at the end. So don't worry, I'm going to get there in a minute, folks. But the feud with Khali was ridiculous. With Judgment Day 06, Khali pins him with 1 foot. Khali didn't even look like he knew where his fucking shoelaces were. Khali didn't even look like he could even spell much of anything. He couldn't even spell. He probably wouldn't even spell Undertaker. He couldn't talk. Granted, English was a second language. Whatever. Undertaker just putting over this guy for no goddamn reason, then faces off against him before SummerSlam 06. They couldn't even have this match at SummerSlam 06. They had to have Khali basically written off TV because he needed surgery of some kind. Maybe to fix the lobotomy that he apparently had. Or maybe to fix whatever that Easter Island statue faced. Well, apparently Khali's a nice guy, and I'm sure he is. But the guy never fucking belonged in the ring. And he was in New Japan at one point. Granted, it was 2002, I think. I think he faced off against Chris Candido in a match I saw. At least I think it was Candido, but it was ridiculous. But then even before that, they were going to have a Punjabi prison match. Khali wasn't medically cleared, so they had that Big Show in there. So Undertaker and Big Show, that didn't have the best feud in 99, are going to have a feud 6 years later? No, 7 years later. Yay! Seriously, Khali couldn't even be in the fucking match that he made famous. the fact that we're going to have a guy with no goddamn knees try to climb this goddamn thing and Taker carry this slug, this fucking slug of a guy to a match, it just didn't work. But that match I referred to where he beat him up and everything, bloodied him, smashed his face against a chair, or against the stairs with a chair, beat him up, chokeslam was horrible. I mean, granted, trying to pick up a 7'3" guy that has no goddamn knee, so he has no spring in his step. It was still somehow better than the chokeslam that he gave to Goldberg. But then he transitions into a feud with Mr. Kennedy. And that actually, ended up in a pretty good last ride match at Armageddon 06. And then he is in the 2007 Rumble match, and him and Michaels do a little tease at the end where they tease what's going to happen at a couple Manias later. One of the best WrestleMania endings ever, if not the best WrestleMania, Royal Rumble ending ever. Because it really, really was. And then he fused with Batista. That was a good feud. And then, because of a torn bicep or something like that, they had him beat Batista in a cage match. Mark Henry attacked him. Edge, who had won the briefcase from Mr. Kennedy, cashed in, and Edge won the world title, and then he had to be written off TV soon after because of an injury. So, and then got popped for a wellness violation when the whole thing after the Benoit fiasco, murder, and Benoit should not be in the fucking Hall of Fame, so stop fucking saying that, idiots. Anyway, Benoit's, Hall of Fame exclusion aside, I'm sorry, I don't care how good the guy was in the goddamn ring, he murdered his family. You can believe all the conspiracy theories you want, he murdered his family. So, the feud with Edge, he was out till September 07, I think Unforgiven 07. He had a return against Mark Henry, started feuding with Batista again, then feuded with Edge. Great feud that they had, all the way into Mania 24, which was a great Mania main event. They had another match, I believe, the following month at Backlash. That ended kind of in controversy. Title got held up. We had a one-night stand match, a TLC match, and one-night stand 08. If Taker lost, he would be done in WWE. He was only out for a couple months. Vicky Guerrero got pissed off at Edge because he cheated on her with, was it Alicia Fox? Alicia Fox was a wedding planner. That was a great way to use Alicia Fox. Boy, where the fuck has she been? Use her on TV again. But anyway, then she brought him back, had a Hell in a Cell match with Edge at SummerSlam 08, and then transitioned into a horrible feud with the Big Show that went on forever, in a day that's never. It was so fucking bad. He even put over Vladimir Kozlov when they tried pushing Vladimir Kozlov. That was a great idea. Even though the guy apparently, if you've seen recent footage of him, Kozlov is in phenomenal shape and doing some great things in movies, and that's great. He wasn't cut out for wrestling. But then they build up the feud with him and Shawn Michaels into Mania 25, and that should have closed Mania. Because nobody else can follow that fucking shit. Great match. And then he took some time off after that. I think he faced Kozlov shortly after. Beat him, just after that. Or he faced somebody right after Mania 25. And then he was off for a number of months until SummerSlam 09. Feuded with Punk. Won the world title in under 10 minutes at Hell in a Cell. The first ever Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Held till February 2010. Feuded with Rey Mysterio there, at Royal Rumble. And then lost it at the Elimination Chamber match because Shawn Michaels came out from under the ring. Somehow nobody checks this fucking shit. And he cost Undertaker the match and put his career on the line against a streak. Undertaker won. Great Mania main event. And from there is when Undertaker's career really started on the down path. Because that was the end of his great run. That was the last great match Undertaker had. And this is where things are going to get a little bit scathing. And I'm sorry. But he had his nose broken by Ray on I think it was a 619 or something like that. The knee braces hit Undertaker, and he either had a broken nose or it was either a broken nose, an orbital bone, or a concussion. Might have been all of them. But he was out for a bit. He was taken out for a bit, and Kane, I think it was the Nexus that laid him out in the parking lot and stuff like that. When the Nexus actually mattered, they laid him out in a parking lot. And Kane was on the hunt trying to get anybody that took him down. He thought it was Ray, so he started feuding with Ray into SummerSlam 2010. Undertaker returned. Undertaker, look, if you see the end of this match, if you see when Undertaker returned, when Kane and Rey Mysterio had their match, if you see how Undertaker looked, he looked disheveled, he sounded rough, he was beat up. He came back from injury too soon. Apparently he was also dealing with a bad shoulder, because then his 2010 feud with Kane started. Night of Champions, Hell in a Cell match, because you had Paul Bearer, coming back, shining the light and everything from the urn. Apparently there's, the bat signals in there. And then he gets buried alive at Survivor Series 2010. He's off TV for a while. He had a torn rotator cuff and needed surgery for that. From there, it was a steady decline. That Mania 27 match with Triple H, I'm just going to say it sucked. I did not like it. I appreciate what they did to their bodies, beating their bodies up with chair shots and all that and everything. It was not a good match, in my personal opinion. I just didn't see the big, emotion with it. And I get what they were trying to do. It just wasn't emotional to me. Just in my personal opinion, I did not find it that emotional. Taker got carried out. He was not seen on TV until like January, just after the Royal Rumble 2012. Almost a fucking year. And then faced Triple H in the end of an era match where Shawn Michaels was there. Okay. This probably was the closest you were going to get to a good Undertaker match, for the rest of his career. Good stuff. Good emotion. A bit overdone, especially with Shawn acting like a fucking baby every time, either of the guys hit moves. Because it's like, Shawn, you did a whole lot worse in the ring or whatever. You did a whole lot more impactful stuff, but whatever. It was his two friends. Whatever. I don't know. That's something that always bothered me, but it was a hell of a match, and that's where everything should have ended. Undertaker should have not wrestled after this. He shouldn't have wrestled after this unless it was going to be to put somebody over and have the streak broken. In my opinion, the streak would have never been broken. But they did what they did because Vince likes Brock. He likes beefy Brock. Again, you need to stop doing that. And so, end of an era is over and everything. All that. He appears at Raw 1000, helps Kane. We don't see him again until, sometime in the build-up to Mania 29. He comes out to celebrate the life of Paul Bearer. Does a pose in the ring. CM Punk appears. I'm so sorry for your upcoming loss at WrestleMania. And or something like that. And that was great. And the match of Punk was good for what it was. I had a really good reaction out of the Anaconda Vice. Undertaker just rises up and just stares at Punk. And Punk just has this look of fear. So Undertaker wins. Okay, cool. You do that there. Then the Shield took him out because Undertaker still had still had a few appearances after that. And it was supposed to lead to a feud, I think, with maybe I heard rumors of Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan possibly facing off against the Shield, or maybe just Undertaker and Kane. They were going to hand the clean loss to the Shield because that's what you do to build up a young faction. Yeah, two old guys beat him up. This is where I started to sour on Undertaker. That match didn't happen, though, because Undertaker got injured. Again, shocking. The guy beat his body up to shit. The streak got broken by Lesnar in a match I didn't agree with. Now, look, granted, it built up Lesnar. It did what it did, but we would have bought Lesnar as a fucking monster anyway. Had Bray break the streak. They should have had Bray break the streak at Mania 30. It would have established him as a new phenom. It would have fucking worked. It would have been great. It would have been great. They did not do the thing. Lesnar won. And it was obviously planned because they had the graphic ready. I mean, it was obviously planned. It wasn't conspiracy. The ref didn't do this. The ref may have legit been shocked. Holy crap, look what I did. The fans are going to kill me. And to be fair, they would have not been right to because he's just doing his goddamn job. But then, the Bray feud up to Mania 31. This is where everything Undertaker's last 4 or 5 years have been shit. After the streak was broken, that's it. That's fucking it. Unfortunately, it would have cut us out of one particular gift that turned into a meme, but the Bray Wyatt feud just wasn't all that good. Bray also twisted his ankle, so he wasn't in great shape, but Undertaker wasn't in all that great shape. He just wasn't. He was a shell of what he was. Nobody bought into Undertaker as much. Sure, people still pop for the Undertaker's dong. Everybody loves the Undertaker's dong. I'm wording that way so you guys can see it that way too, because if I have to make that joke, I'm going to make you all picture it. But he beats Bray. Okay, cool, whatever. Bray was already beating the powder by that point anyway. And then the Lesnar feud. The SummerSlam thing where they all laugh at each other, that was pretty funny. And then you got the Hell in a Cell match. You could justify some of this stuff happening, but at this point, Undertaker's career is fucking dead. The feud with the Wyatts at Survivor Series 2015, the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatts, for no fucking reason. Just no reason. And then the feud with Shane, where it went for 30 fucking minutes, where Shane was going toe-to-toe with The Undertaker. No wonder The Undertaker isn't taken seriously. He couldn't beat up Vince's son, who is in incredible shape and is a great athlete and has taken some incredible risks, but he can't go toe-to-toe with The Undertaker, who's apparently the best pure striker, whatever the fuck that means, in wrestling. Or in WWE. I don't know what the fuck the best pure striker is. I mean, because it's obviously not Matt Striker. And then he was in the 2017. Well, he also appeared and talked to Team SmackDown, like I think on SmackDown 1000 or whatever. If you don't win, there's going to be hell to pay. And then he wasn't seen on SmackDown after that. He appeared at the Royal Rumble 2017. Had a little tease with Goldberg. The Reigns match, Mania 33, was sad. That's when he should have actually retired. Just have him retire there, and that's it. Just fucking retire there. He left his hat, his coat, everything in the ring. He was done. He was telling Vince he was done. Nope, Vince just couldn't fucking let it go. Because Vince is a goddamn old, stupid, crotchety son of a bitch. And doesn't want to build up new stars. He didn't like the fact that the fans weren't taking the reins. And it ain't all Reigns' fault. Some of it is. He's just not as good as they need him to be. But anyway, I digress. That match with Reigns, that was it. He was done. Then he feuded with Cena for a bit. Well, I mean, he didn't show up, but he beat Cena in like about 2 minutes at Mania 34. Buried Rusev at, the Greatest Royal Rumble in a casket match. That was terrible. The Super Showdown match in Australia versus Triple H, that was an atrocious match. It just was. It needed to be about 10 minutes less than what it was. It was bad. But then we get to Crown Jewel, Kane versus DX. That was actually worse than the Triple H match. Kane got out of the mask and all that bullshit and everything. And yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. And Shawn, I hope the money was worth it, Shawn, to come back for. Because he damaged his legacy also. In fact, I'm probably going to include him on that list. But fuck. We then get to finish up very, very quickly that Goldberg match. I'm sorry. I know both guys tried, and the heat and all that stuff and the factors. Yes, there was a lot of stuff to factor in. Age, Father Time is undefeated, all this stuff. But the whole point is the match shouldn't have fucking happened. Undertaker has damaged his fucking legacy for almost the last decade. I made some small justifications for why some of these matches happen. But Undertaker, I gave you all that stuff. Sure, there's other stuff that I missed and everything. But his numerous title wins, the fact that he's been a tag team champion, he's done so much stuff, overcome injuries, fought through injuries, done a whole bunch of stuff. Undertaker has done nothing more to enhance his legacy in the past number of years. So that's really what I'm, getting at the whole point here. It's an unpopular opinion, but it is basically that Undertaker's legacy ain't exactly as great as some people say. There's been some shit, and he's added a big pile of shit to the last number of years. So that's what I gotta say. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.